in and give you an update where the layout's at today. Got a whole lot going on. We've got a couple little small projects I'm working on. I'll just do a quick tour for anyone who hasn't seen it. Again, it's kind of a 10 by 13 foot basement room that is the concrete cinder block foundation basement room here that I've commandeered in a new to my wife and I's home. She's allotted me this 10 by 13 foot room for the layout, and just approaching almost 2 years now. Rapid progress, but slowly but surely progressing along, and this is kind of where we're at. The first thing I did is I laid out kind of a double main line all the way around the perimeter. There's actually two doors in the room here. Entry door here from the living space, and there's a utility room back here. Maybe I'll expand to eventually, but given the fact there's the two doors here, I didn't really want to lift out kind of a situation, so I kind of made this just use the part of the room that wouldn't obstruct the doors. So I've kind of got this little peninsula thing going on here, and then it's kind of like a large shelf layout that extends all the way around the area of the room that is not involving the doors here. So yeah, the double main line just goes all the way around the perimeter of this peninsula here and the shelf side. One thing that's kind of interesting that it does is it does go through the wildcat hills of western Nebraska through these tunnels, which extend about 4 feet beyond the wall here and turn around. Eventually the plan would be to actually add a second deck up here, which would be accessed via a helix behind that wall, so that turnaround would actually become a helix, and then I'll build up most likely like a Rocky Mountain subdivision along on the second tier here, where you can see the 2x4s there. So yeah, the double main line is pretty much all we've got up to this point. I did add really the first industry here is the Hooper Mills grain elevator here. I've actually added an older grain facility there that I'm slowly building up. But now that I've pretty well established the track here, I'll go ahead and start working on scenery and roads and whatnot servicing the area. I do have the gas service terminal here, one of Walther's kits, on the other side of the main line. A little smaller industry, so a couple industries, I guess, actually here that we've added. Pretty happy with the track I've got supporting the grain elevator. There's quite a bit of space here for a pretty good size grain train to pull off the main line. And of course, I've posted pictures in the past of my little Hooper Mills RSC 2 locomotive there that has been acquired to serve the grain elevator. And then the smaller yard here I've mentioned in past videos I'd like to reconfigure based on my education of the way yards work. So I'll probably reconfigure that, but that's really the only other part of the railroad. I've got some turnouts here that at one time I had running through here, but I've begun to take them out, and just because I'm going to totally reconfigure what I've got here. So the other big news here is I did make a concrete pour of what I call 10th Street, the 10th Street Bridge here in downtown Omaha. If you know downtown Omaha, there's the Burlington Station, which, as I often point out, is actually the station that Walther's Union Station was modeled after. So you couldn't ask for a better kit to use than Walther's Union Station, because literally Omaha's Burlington station was the prototype for that kit. And it sits right alongside the 10th Street Bridge, which not prototypical, but I decided in my fictional world to add a light rail line that runs along there. So that's the concrete pour that I did most recently. So a lot of the forthcoming work will focus on the scenery, the downtown area. Obviously I'll build up some density here and have a nice backdrop of Omaha's skyline. So and you know, alongside the Burlington station is where Amtrak's line runs through as well. So actually both UP and BNSF have lines that run between here. So there'll be a lot of activity here. And then the other big news is I've kind of laid the foundation and begun to raise the supports for a large roundhouse here, which I've always, of course, a lot of people have always dreamed about having a roundhouse. Again, not very prototypical, but the Bennington Elkhorn Valley Railroad will have a large roundhouse. This is the Atlas kits, so there's 3 of them. They come in 3 stall roundhouse segments, so I put 3 together, and then of course this is the really inexpensive Atlas turntable here, and I did get their motor kit, which is kind of noisy. It's not the greatest, but for a quick and dirty roundhouse and turntable, I thought it was a good way to go. So yep, that's the other big project is putting together this big roundhouse here, and that'll occupy obviously most of the little peninsula here. The rest of it here will be Omaha-based rail yards, so I'll have a lot of rail yard in here, along with trackage to bring Amtrak trains in and out, as well as some engine service facilities along here next to the roundhouse. So there'll be a lot of track in here. This will be the bulk of my yard for maintaining rolling stock and switching and whatnot. Yeah, that's kind of the highlights. And then I've got a lot of space over here to fill in as well. Lots of unoccupied space here. And again, I really haven't done a lot with scenery. Only in, obviously the Elkhorn River Valley is one thing that I'd kind of done. And then the Wildcat Hills of western Nebraska, along with the Soldier Creek that I put in here. But otherwise, most of it has not really been done, primarily because I just feel like I still have a lot of track to do. I got a lot of track to lay, and I hate to, rip up scenery to do more track. So until I get all the track done, I kind of leave it all unfinished here. So hopefully, as I kind of establish some of these things, like all the track that'll be in the yards of downtown Omaha, I'll be able to spend a lot more time actually getting scenery done here. Yeah, so that's just a little quick update. What's going on the Bennington and Elkhorn Valley Railroad. Really, the 2 big things are that 10th Street Bridge and the round table, and probably the Hooper Mills grain facility in that area will be the next complete scenery work that I actually do, because the track's pretty well established here, so I'll actually be able to go in and finish the scenery. Anyway, small update. Thanks for checking in. Talk to you guys later.